Jackals! 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 Down in Langley late at night, smart old guys that play it right. Captain Fun Bobby leads the charge. Silky Mitts, Johnny Gunshots coming large. Putty in the slot, all the Chris's in a row. Nighthawks battle, it's a 2-1 show. Jackals! 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 Rolling down the line. 10:30 puck drop, leaving sleep behind. Jackals! 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 Every day's Lloyd's birthday here. Whoppers and Fresco raise a cheer. Don't forget a shower beer. Check Pab's beard for lost gear. Jackals, Jackals, rolling down the line. 10:30 puck drop, leaving sleep behind. Jackals, Jackals, Jackals. Langley twin rings, empty seats, homeless living on the streets. A Chargers hat for tailgating, nachos for the lady bag. Jackals, Jackals, keeping up the flame. Jackals, Jackals, you can't stop the rain. Jackals!
Jackals TV is back after a 1-week hiatus where the Jackals did not have a game, winning that game via forfeit against the absolute Thrashers last week. They are back on the ice this week, and they are taking on the first place team, the Hosers. The last time these two teams played, we didn't even put highlights out. It was such a mismatch. And we contemplated doing that here as well, but here we are, and we're going to get through this one together. And you can tell there's not a lot of appetite to play the Hosers, as there are 8 regulars out of the lineup here today for the Jackals. Jason, Gary Pabla, Chris Weeger, Rob, Daryl, Bob, David, and Lloyd all missing from today's game. So 3 spares in the lineup just to get it back to 10 skaters. Darshawn, Brad Haber, and Rod Bozak all helping out today to get the Jackals to a playable number. So let's not prolong it any further. Let's head to the first period. We're going to start off with the Hosers getting a chance right off the face-off here. That centerman gets by the Jackals center and shovels that on the backhand on the net, but Trevor's there to make a save. Here's Darwin trying to get it up the wall, playing defense here in this game. Ends up getting a stick into that player's feet, tripping him up, so it's a penalty to Darwin. And the Hosers are on the power play. Coming in here, wrist shots that's fanned on, but that allows the play to go through to the net and create a bunch more excellent chances in front for the Hosers, but Trevor's up to the task. And we're going to see him do some more work to keep the Hosers off the board. There's a pass out front after he makes the initial save on the slap shot, and he makes 2 saves off rebounds there. Now watch Darwin. He's just getting back to his right D position, and it's a heavy collision there with the Hosers player when he wasn't looking. So luckily he was okay and continued on the game. Here's a breakaway pass out for the Hosers player. Brad comes back and disrupts that, somehow avoids getting a penalty, and then Trevor has to make a save off that shot from the high slot. Jackals can only weather the storm for so long. Here comes a Hosers player down the right side. He's on his own, but he's going to take that shot up high over the glove. Trevor leaning a little bit to his right, and he picks that spot, and the Hosers have finally broken this scoreless tie, 1-0. Then they're looking to stretch the lead to 2 off this one-timer, but Trevor is there ready for it and square. Makes a nice easy save directing that off to the corner. Here come the Jackals now the other way, looking for a scoring chance of their own finally in this game. There's a shot by Rod, then he gets the rebound, he shovels that, and it just goes wide. Maybe it was deflected there. Off a face-off in the other zone, watch Chris Stuhar get tied up with a Hosers player, number 99. Looks like the guy was chicken winging Chris's stick and continues to hold on to it for some reason. Chris isn't sure what to do as that guy flails around on the ground, goes back, speaks to Chris a little bit. Then Jer comes in and bumps into him. And then a little bit later, watching in front of the net, Jer and that player are engaged, and Jer gives him a bit of a cross check. And then a little bit later in the play, Jer and that player are again engaged. And then as Jer plays in the corner, that player comes and shoves him into the wall. And that's ultimately going to result in a roughing penalty for the Hosers. So to the power play, the Jackals go. And here they are working it around. Going to eventually put this over. Darsh delays a bit, and then puts it over to Aaron, who takes the shot from the far side, but the goalie makes the save. So we go to the second period. And after the Hosers have killed that penalty, they're back on the attack. Here they are coming down the left, and there's a player skating hard to turn this into a 2-on-1. He receives the pass and puts it low blocker past Trevor, and the Hosers have extended their lead to 2. Jackals looking to get back in this one. Here comes Bruce. He's going to shoot it in down low. Puck goes around to that far corner. Jer's going to go get it, and he's going to throw it out front here. It's going to come to Chris Marshall. Swings on a little one-timer to the glove side. Looks like he had some space there, but the goalie makes the save. Jer and Aaron combine here to make a defensive play. Maybe a bit of a holding, but either way, it's not a penalty. But it is turned over to that Hosers player, then throws it on the net and catches Trevor by surprise, it appears, and beats him there on the short side to give the Hosers a 3-0 lead. Here they keep coming. There's another rush off the left. Little backhand flick onto the net. Saved by Trevor. It's going to come back out to the point, though. This slap shot, another save by Trevor, and then he gets over to make a third save, and then they throw it up front there dangerously. Luckily, it didn't hit Trevor in the back of the leg, so some good goaltending there by Trevor to keep it 3-0. Hosers keep coming, splitting the D, getting through again, and yet another save from Trevor down low. Now we're going to be back to check in on 99 by Red. There he is coming into Chris again, who he was tied up with earlier in the game. They're speaking to each other. A little bit of spear right there from 99. That's going to be enough to draw a penalty. You see the ref with his arm up. Then he comes back with a second spear. This one follows Chris to the ice. So that's going to be 4 minutes for spearing. And the refs are going to talk about it and give him a game ejection on top of that. So if the Jackals are going to get back into this one, here's their chance. 4-minute power play, down 3-0. Here's Rod walking to the middle, and the Hosers let him walk right into a prime scoring chance, but it looks like he doesn't get all of that, but he does force the Hosers goaltender to make a save. Now we're back down the other end. This is a 2-on-3, and this player is going to beat that one player and then look like maybe he's going to pass, but he's going to sneak another one through on the short side there. That's a shorthanded goal by the Hosers. It's going to make this a 4-0 game. Jackals coming back the other way, still on the power play. Chris Marshall throws that towards the net, tipped by Jer, but the goaltender's there to make the save. Power play continues, though, considering it was a 4-minute one. Here's Brad. He's going to whip that puck over to Rod, who's all alone on the far side. Then he's going to go hard to the net. Rod sees him, gives it back to him, and Brad tips it through the goaltender's legs. A nice power play effort there by the Jackals, and they're on the board. This one is a 4-1 game now. Period is winding down. The Hosers are on the attack. Watch Jerry. He's going to go to the front of the net. He's going to get engaged with the Hosers player there in front. He gets a little bit of a shove, so then he goes back to that player and gives him an innocuous kind of trip, but it is a tripping nonetheless. Referee's going to call that, and so the Hosers are back to the power play. They're going to win the initial faceoff. There's a shot whipped on net, but a nice glove save from Trevor, and that's going to get them through to the third period. And the Jackals have successfully killed Jer's penalty. There's a blocker save from Trevor off this play on the rush. Puck is going to stay in the Jackals zone, though. Even though there it gets cleared away from the front of the net, the Hosers are going to set it up high and then just whip this pass over to the guy who's on the far side in the dry saddle spot. He's the wrong hand, but he still finds a way to get that by on the short side there. And it's now a 4-goal lead again for the Hosers, 5-1. And they're looking to add more to it as well. Here's another 2-on-1 coming down. No pass this time, a shot and a save by Trevor, and then he stands tall as that player crashes in, unnecessarily in a 6-1 lead here. Here's Brad back the other way. That wrist shot looked hard, and maybe it looked like it hurt the goalie. Rebound by Chris Marshall. He also puts one off the same leg. Brad picks it up, throws another one towards the net. It's blocked. John is in there looking for the rebound. Mad scramble in front of the net. Ends up back on Brad's stick, and he shoots again, and again another block. But some excellent opportunities there for the Jackals. There's a big slap shot by John, and another awkward-looking save from the Hosers goalie. The Hosers seem to have backed off here with their big lead. Here's a long-range give-and-go as Darwin puts that back to Aaron, who then gives it back to him with speed on the line. He comes in on the left side, whips it on net. Another save, though, from the Hosers goalie. Time for another odd man rush by the Hosers. This time a 3-on-1 coming in on the right side. Darwin does well to block that shot, but then it ends up back on that player's stick who gets one crack, two cracks at it, and then the third shot from that player in front, he's able to shovel it past Trevor and make this game now 6-1, which will mercifully run the clock here for the Jackals between whistles. But here is another offensive attack from the Jackals. Nice shot there from Chris Marshall. Puck goes to the corner. They put that up the wall, and Aaron jumps on it, moves to the center on his backhand, puts it back against the grain, and a nice screen in front from Chris Marshall allows that puck to go through on the far side past the blocker. And Aaron's unassisted effort here has made this game 6-2. So just a few seconds left in this one, maybe a minute or so. And while most players are just trying to run out the clock, this Hosers player is well in behind the defense, waiting for a breakaway pass that he does get. He then deposits it on the short side, and as Chris Marshall says, that's a bit of a seagull effort here late in this game to make it a 7-2 victory for the Hosers. So let's have a look at the stats. We're not going to show you game stats. We're not going to punish people with minuses and poor save percentages for having the gall to show up for a game, considering how few people could make it. We're not going to punish him for that. So here are the overall standings now on the season. You see Aaron moving into the points lead with that goal here today, and funnily enough, a spare Brad leading the way with the most goals with just 3. So the Jackals struggling to score here in this inappropriate division. Speaking of the division, let's have a look at it. There you see the Jackals in the middle of the pack with a relatively good record, but remember that includes 2 victories over the absolute Thrashers, one of which was by forfeit. So they have 1 win with the other teams in the division. And let's have a look at the results this week in the division. There you see that forfeit victory there by the Jackals on the board, and then the loss against the Hosers. So let's look forward. We'll see if the schedule changes. The Jackals should be moving out of this division, but considering their record, I don't know if it'll happen soon. There you see them playing the Black Aces yet again. This is the 3rd time they'll have played the Black Aces this season. A lot of strange scheduling issues with the league this year. Well, that's it for this one, folks. We'll see you for the next one.